Hello, everyone. Good morning in my time and space, but good afternoon, good evening, and good night, wherever you are. Today, we are talking about the new moon eclipse that is coming up in Libra at 10 degrees. How's everyone's eclipse portal going? This kind of feels like what is going on? I know for myself and for a lot of people in my paradigm, we're just kind of like, what's going on with this here? What's going on with this? And then all of a sudden, a resounding yes. It's just this whoosh. It's just, yes, this is a yes. Absolutely. I'll stop what I'm doing. I'll answer and do not disturb. The yes is such a resounding yes. And a no, that's a no stop. You know that language already. It feels as though that question mark, that well, something's off. Something's a little bit, I don't trust you. I don't trust you. I don't trust you. I put on the Christmas lights earlier, but they just kept flashing because my guides were doing some things. But the light upstairs, that's my neighbor upstairs. It's a little Yorkshire Terrier. Her name is Sky, and she likes to jump around. So normally I would say, it's palabras certas, and it's the thing, but it's my neighbor. Today it's my neighbor. But the Christmas lights, they were just flickering. I was like, no, absolutely not. I don't want that. If it bothers me, then it's going to bother you. But it's very common for things to move around here. And so welcome for anyone that's new to the cafe. My name is Sarah. It is an absolute pleasure to have you here. I kind of fumble a little bit on titles, but for lack of a better term, I'm a channel. I channel messages for the collective for the time of the awakening and the ascension. I speak through lenses because I wear these massive glasses. And so we channel information through the lens of astrology, a growth mindset. I have the tarot cards that represent the staken of the astrological wheel. So we're going to go over a few things. Like the title of this video states, I'm fairly certain, unless something else comes through, that we're going to have it, that it's going to be some version of Soul Family. And it's like the love train, that's just been playing in my head. I want to preface that there were two videos that, if you have not seen them, could be worth your time. I'm going to reference them, and I'll reference the specificity of it. But if you want in-depth information, the links are in the description for the having reverence for the villain, as well as the 2024 to 2027 video, the changing of the guides. Those could be worth your time and I will reference them as I'm talking about them. But normally I check in with my guides and say, what does this community need to see or hear before we talk about what it is that we need to talk about? And those were the two videos that they just had popped into my brain. And so as I'm talking to you, again, if you're new here, and this is my multidimensional cafe. It's just you and I transcending time and space, chit-chatting with coffee and tea about astrology and this new moon eclipse and Libra and all the fun things. So it's just you and me. This is your chair right here. I just have to push it to the side so we can see the board, but that's it. And I have Earl Grey tea with honey. It's organic honey. It's not local, and some coconut milk. It's yummy. I've been up, what time is it? 6:35 of the clock tower right there. I've been up since 2 something. I've already gone to the gym, came back. It's day 1 of my new program, and I just it feels so good. It feels so good. That might come up, but let's get into it. Let's use Esmeralda for the pause, and go grab your journal, go grab your coffee or tea, and we're going to talk about the astrology of this new moon eclipse in Libra at 10 degrees. Coffee or tea, go grab it. Journal, please. Journal, please. And in the toolbox, I have a whole video on my love affair with pen and paper journaling. It's completely worth your time and energy to have a journal, you and you. You and the God of your understanding. So I'm going to give you the dates right off. Okay, my guides are talking. They don't want me to do the dates right off. This is about soul family in a way that a lot of the times we can, and these are, very clickbaity terms. So they want me to really just explain what I mean by soul family, which are the people that, it's like a pod of souls that came down to this planet together. And sometimes you know each other for 35 seconds in this lifetime. Sometimes you've known each other for lifetimes. It doesn't matter. These are the key people in your life, the key souls in your life that helped catapult you to your highest trajectory. And so I'll reference, one of my exes was definitely a soulmate of mine. It was, during that time period, I haven't seen him in many years, was a extremely verbally abusive relationship. Some narcissistic tendencies were in there. And, there was a time that we were literally only communicating in his therapist's office. And we were living together, working together. He was driving my car, using my car, all the things. And the therapist was like, she has no reason to be here. No reason at all to be here. Like, there's no reason. I can't tell her what to do because she's doing whatever she wants. And so, but a lot of the times I would go back to that, but we're soulmates. I gotta figure this out. And it's like, no, girl, you don't. And I'll save a lot of these stories, but he gave me my voice. He reminded me, we had past lives together, that a lot of what it is that I get to do in this time and space, in this paradigm, I do alone. I do with myself. I do standing on my own 2 feet, and I do it with being able to trust myself and being able to keep my power. I've given my power away in many lifetimes. I have a whole video to record about why saying you're an old soul or being an old soul isn't really it's not like oh my God, look at you. It's like, yeah, I'm still in 3rd grade. I still have a lot of things to figure out. Yep, it's great. It means you got stuck and you have some, things to, so it's not always the best thing. It's not always the thing to brag about. And so I'm very grateful for that. There's one other reference that I wanted to make that I made a note on, and my guys are saying that it's like when and I don't have human children yet in this lifetime, so I can only speak to, people that I revere and what I've personally experienced within my own parents and my own life. Whereas I have been borderline homeless, where I couldn't scratch at the door of my parents and they wouldn't bat an eye. They would have shut the blinds, shut the shutters. And I'm so grateful for that because it taught me how to work for my money. It taught me the value of money. It taught me how to stand on my own 2 feet. It taught me how to be scrappy. It taught me every single skill set that I'm most grateful for. I am so glad that they didn't say oh, here's money, go figure it out, honey bunches. I once I get to a certain point, the universe blesses me, and I trust that. It's kind of like the universal law of aligned action. Whereas I've placed my auto with God, and then I will do whatever it is that I need to do in this 3rd dimensional matrix to get there. And then the blessing comes. But it's not sitting in a pool of my own, spit up, wailing and crying about somebody needs to come clean me up when I'm a 37-year-old woman. No, ma'am, no, sir. And so we do our children a disservice when we pay for it and 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 pay for it. We have to, at some point kick them out of the nest and say, you can do this. If you need me, you know where to find me. But it's okay for you to hustle a little bit. I'll help you with what I can help you with. When there was, how do I say, people that I've known before, their parents paid their cell phone bill, but they had to pay for their rent. They had to pay for all those things. So certain things like that, or, people said I was on my family's health insurance plan until a certain time where it's you can do it. So trusting that's just another image that my guides are giving me, and then we're going to move along. When it comes to soul family, to wrap that up with a bow, It's not always like your soulmate. It's not like the twin flame. I believe that that's very dangerous language because it says that there is someone outside of you that's going to complete you, that's going to be the other half of you. You're not a half of a person. You're a full sovereign being in and of yourself. And so I want to just leave that as the disclaimer for today, and to continue the disclaimer. These are my opinions, personal perspectives, personal channels. Don't take a single thing that I say as doctrine, ever. Do your own research on every single thing that I say and follow the astrologer, the channeler, the content creator, the influencer, the, inspirational thought leader that resonates with you. Use this as a cafeteria line and take what resonates and leave the rest. But don't spend time focusing on the things that don't resonate and screaming at the Brussels sprouts because, your mom never let you get up off the table because you had to finish the Brussels sprouts. It's like, that's your inner teenager coming out. That's also the video can't have a, and I told you so moment. That could be worth your time as well. Okay, so that's the disclaimer. My intention, as always, is to offer the most accessible information for this community that's of the highest and greatest good for all involved and invested, with no harm coming to any. I do my bubbling work before I start channeling, and I go directly to source energy. I allow only the white light of God to shine through and to come through my vocal cords and through my voice box, and I just take my ego out of it. And sometimes it's a little bit more of a disclaimer still. Sometimes my messages hit hard, like the stuff with the kiddos. It's like, if you've been like making it rain for your kids, don't judge yourself. Don't judge yourself. Just find ways to say, this is the end date, and I believe in you so much to figure this out. I believe in you so much, so much. There, a lot of people, myself included, have been removing addictive substances and patterns from their lives. I haven't had alcohol in many years, but the cannabis flower was, I was smoking for 14 years. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, huge advocate for it. It helped me get through, those relationships and those troublesome times. But the parable that I give is like, I was drinking the amoxicillin because it tasted like bubble gum. And it's like, you don't need this medicine anymore, Sarah. You want clarity for your channels. You want clarity to be able to do what it is that you do for the collective. I'm of service for this world and bringing you back into alignment. That's my intention, is to offer this information so you can understand, utilize this energy, harness it for your highest and greatest good. What we know about eclipses. Okay. What we know about eclipses. Just going to 13 minutes in, sometimes I just chat, and sometimes I just like chatting with you. So I will do my best to timestamp it. What we know about eclipses and the eclipse portal is that if our soul has gone off course, and certain words my Boston comes out, so I apologize, off course, this is when our soul gets smashed back on track. That's if we've gone off course. So we want that. We want to stay on the path of our soul's growth. If we have been on the path of our soul's growth, this is very much when the God of our understanding, our higher self, and our soul contracts, for lack of a better term. We're just like picked up and then placed in the paradigm that we need to be. A lot of the times, what's going to be happening right now, solely based on the fact that this is in Libra, might be the exact same physical paradigm. Not everybody's going to be moving right now. A lot of you are and are job hunting, and I'm excited and I celebrate you on those things. But right now it could be the same paradigm, but all of a sudden you meet the right people, the right clients, everything just kind of comes together. And this is, because it's Libra, it's the balanced scale. So I am going to talk about two different trajectories that you could be on. And I want you to, if you feel as though you're on one trajectory and you don't want to be on it, then I'll give you some tools that you can do and this isn't easy stuff. I know I look ostentatious, and that's the point, but I'm going to give you some heavy hitting information that's like, you have to remove certain people from your life for the right people to come in. There's only so many seats at your table. And if you have 8 out of 10 people at your table, 2 things: know that you're 8 out of 10 for them, equal and opposite, and know that your 10 out of 10 people are out there. They're just not going to be able to find you. 3 things, pardon me. Definitely go watch the 2024 to 2027 video. I go in depth into all of this as far as relationship soul matches are concerned. I go in depth into that. And then the third thing is that during eclipse time period, it's not like when it comes to relationships, if you've known for a while that these people are 8 out of 10 and you're just like with it, you're telling God that that's your 10 out of 10, and that's where you're going to get locked in. Truly. That's the level. How you do one thing is how you do everything. So that's where God says, okay, they want 8 out of 10. I'm just going to send them an 8 out of 10 life, because that's where they want to be. We are getting used to co-creating with the God of our understanding, and we're getting used to instantaneous manifestation. So if you want to keep an 8 out of 10 life, my guy, keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. If you're like, Sarah, oh my God, I don't want that, but I feel that, then it's time to have some tough chats. It's time to say to the people in your life, hey, I love you, but I can't be in your life anymore. And I'm going to have to set some new boundaries with you. And this isn't working, and I have to just stay on my sovereign path. I can't carry you. I would have loved for you to come with me, but we've been having conversations for the better part of a decade now, and I'm okie dokie, I'm done. And that's okay. That's beautiful. If you feel as though you've been with yourself, doing your inner work, really trusting the God of your understanding, doing your things to co-create, and you feel like you're kind of just like standing on this blank canvas, this is when the people that are a vibrational match for you are just going to keep popping up. They're just going to keep popping up. Say yes to as many things as possible, and say yes to, it's kind of like when you're job hunting and you have 5 different job interviews. Go on all of them. Even if you don't want all of them, you're learning how to interview. You're getting better at that skill set. So it's not a negativism to go on all of those job interviews, go on all of those dates, because you're able to find the moment that you're like, no, and say, thank you so much. This is a no for me, but I appreciate your time. That's okay to do. That's okay to do. I'm excited about that. So now I'm going to give you the dates super duper quick, and then we're going to put the planets down on, this is the general astrological wheel, starts in Aries and then goes all the way around over to Pisces. In the all signs reading, we're going to get into all the readings of the rising sign, the sun, and the moon. But for today, we're just talking about the general wheel. That's where we're going to put the planets down. So Eastern Standard Time, this is happening on the 2nd of October around 1446. Gold Coast and Melbourne, I researched, it's still the same time. I think you said it was the 6th, I want to say, but I'm just going to keep doing research, is the 3rd of October, 446. And Central Standard Time is the 2nd of October, 1346. So we're going to look at this as lenses right now, and I'll probably start out and work our way in. There are a few different... drawing a blank here. A few different aspects. That was rough. I'm gonna take a sip of tea. I'm tired. I have a tattoo appointment today. I'm really excited about it. This is mad early. Yeah, this is the 19th of September that I'm recording this. So there's a few different astrological aspects that I'm going to talk about, and a few of them, the 2 that I talk about right now are very wide. So I'm going to, that normally I only talk about like a 1 degree aspect, but a lot of these are slow movers. They're very wide. So I'm just going to reference them as kind of like honorable mention. Actually, I'm going to do the aspects, then I'm going to do the amalgamation of all the planets in Libra, and then I'm going to put up the ones that are not making any aspects right now. I'm just going to do that and just trust it. So right now we have Uranus retrograde in Taurus at 26 degrees. I have Pluto retrograde in Capricorn at 29 degrees. That's trining each other super wide. Super wide. I know that's not like me, but we're just talking about it. And then we have the sextile of Neptune retrograde in Pisces at 28 degrees. So sextile, trine over here. Sextile is like your favorite cousin at the party. It's, you know, a good flow of energy. Trine is like really great flowing energy. But sometimes it's like, I heard a perspective of this that I really like. The trines natally, and I'm going to say this trine for right now, it can be like your yes friend. Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, absolutely. Whatever you want. Order what you want. Yeah, totally okay. Totally okay. Really, do you have an opinion about this? Do you have an opinion about this? Because every time I ask you your opinion, you just say you're not a mirror. Like, you're not an NPC. You can have an opinion. It's okay. And so I find that these are all outer planets. Pluto has been in Cap since 2008. Absolutely no idea how long Neptune has been in Pisces the entire time that I've been studying astrology. And Uranus has been in Taurus for a good while as well, many years. So this, because they're so slow movers, it really just says to me, we might be feeling so stuck in it, or as though we're mastering it. When we're at the last decan of any sign, it's like first decan's the beginning, middle decan the middle, and then the last decan is like, we've got this. We've got this. And I referenced this in a few videos as of late. You're going to see some relationships that might have been together for a very long time ending, really shifting and changing. I'll highlight the Y on that one. Oh no. Where's the North Node? Oh, pardon me. Oh, I don't even know if I want to be able to get it. Come on, little buddy. We gotcha. We gotcha. We gotcha. Sorry about that. It has to do with the North Node in Aries and the South Node in Libra. In the longer range transit playlist, I have an entire video on that. So definitely worth your time. But for this, the North Node is going to be around 6 degrees of Aries. I just want to highlight and time out that there's a true and there's a mean and a true North Node and South Node, and there's a mean and a true North Node, Lilith. So Lilith is someone that I'm going to be talking about today, and the North Node and the South Node I'm going to be talking about today, because they're all kind of just like conjunct together and a part of this. I'm going to leave that for, save the best for last. Tony. I don't even remember the words. Sometimes the sun goes round the moon, passion in your eyes. Sometimes it's all a big surprise. Oh my God, Tony. Sometimes the snow comes down in June. I'm not singing it right, but it's just such a beautiful song. So the reason the relationships are changing right now, to kind of highlight, is because the North Node and the South Node go backwards. So the North Node and the South Node are now in the first decan of Aries. It's kind of like crap or get off the pot. I don't swear anymore, so like shite or get off the pot. And this has been a long time coming for a lot of people. So I've talked about that in other videos. I don't want to reference it again. I'll put the South Node down over here. We're going to talk about that because it's Aries, independence, the storefront view of my life in relationships. South Node, we're releasing over here. So bam, bam, bam. 3 outer planets, all chit-chatting, I would want to say chatting and talking at the same, all chatting at the same time. And at the last degrees of their signs. This is exciting. This is, why a validation as to why it just feels really awkward. It's like, I gotta get up and do something differently. Oh my God, I promise it's gonna feel great when you do it. Once you actually do this, it's going to feel incredible. when you co-create with the universe, with the God of your understanding, and I've said this about new moons, but new moon eclipses, we talked about eclipses, but new moons just by themselves is when the sun and the moon are conjunct at the same point in the sky, together in the sky. And so the energy of the world, of you, everything around you is like an eager waiter, being like, what do you want? Oh my God, done. Done, I'm on it. Nope, I already delegated that, done. What else? What else? Good things? Oh no, you want lack mentality? Oh, you want lack? Okay, cool. Yeah, we'll send you lack. What else? Like, this world is limitless. The power of your brain is limitless. And so it's understanding that language and knowing that for however long you've been alive, that's how long your brain has been functioning in one capacity. So it might feel awkward, but give it a go. Put up some Post-its all over the house. I am worthy. I am, sovereign. I am wealthy. All those things. All those things. And don't demonize wealth as well. I want you to find, if that's your language, sorry about the lights. It is. I'm too tired to care. It is what it is. It's especially with a lot of, the powers that were and celebrities that are doing negative things with their money. You can group all of that into, because that might have been the whole older paradigm of what you've seen as wealth. See what good people are doing with wealth. Some of the most abundant, lovely, wonderful people I've ever met in this world are some of the wealthiest. So try your best to understand that language and look at some of that lack mentality. And also look at how your parents acted around money from the ages of 0 to 7 and know that that's your standard and baseline. Cool. That's just the age as to how our human avatars understand certain things. 7 on, or 7 to a different age, I forget exactly when, is when we start to it's kind of like your first day at work. 0 to 7 is like, okay, I see how everybody's acting. I see how things go around here. I see how the world works. And then 7 to another age, please comment below if you know the age bracket that I'm talking about. You're like, I'm going to participate in this. I'm going to make jokes like dad does. I'm going to act like this. I'm going to do this. And I have what I kind of want to do in this life based on what I've learned and what has been saturated into my sponge of a brain since then. And it's kind of when you stop seeing the fairies type of a thing as well. If you understand, if you get it. I had no idea that was going to come through. Okay, now we have an interesting water trine going on. And again, it's wide. So we got Mars, our assertive planet in Cancer, over here at 15 degrees. I have Saturn in Pisces, retrograde at 14 degrees and 14 minutes, 14, whenever I see that, I really like that. And then I have Venus over here in Scorpio at 11 degrees. Beautiful water energy. Venus, Mars, Saturn. Interdisciplinarian, assertion, and how we receive love and abundance and money and all of those beautiful things. And look at the house systems that it's in. Soul purpose, healing, closure, and coming home. Home, my pocket of the world, safety is key. Deep transformation, death, rebirth, shared possessions, sensuality, and sexuality. It's kind of like a lot of what we're going to be talking about in a few minutes is about relationships, the important people in our lives. This is also the house of open enemies. So it's kind of like having reverence for the villain and then moving on with your life. Be like, I don't really want to care about you much more. That's okay to do. That's the South Node in Libra over here. But it might become so effortless, in this technological world where I only started a Joe Rogan yesterday with Matt Walsh. I haven't finished it. And they were talking about, negative comments online. And it was, I forget which one of them was saying, just all of a sudden you're like, yeah, the person that I would never engage with in my everyday life, all of a sudden I'm sparring with online and going back and forth and all of these things. And some of the greatest power, Mars and Cancer, is just kind of walking away and deleting, not even engaging. It's, oh my goodness. Rory, he spoke at the Summit of Greatness. His book, Procrastination on Purpose, was talking about like delegation, but then at the same time, like, I don't even need to respond to that. It's not worth my time. Literally, time is a precious commodity on this planet. So recognizing that you only have so much time, so many words to speak, why waste them? You know? So I like this trine. This is beautiful. I love Venus transiting the 8th house. It's good things coming in, good sensual sexuality. If you're in a divine partnership, love up on your partner, enjoy yourself. It's a beautiful day. Saturn retrograde in Pisces says we're really seeing things clearly, and we're understanding that, we really do need team. We really do need people. And like I referenced earlier, a lot of people are going through sobriety, certain people that maybe really not idealized, that's not the word I want to use, identified as their, I'm a big drinker and I'm all this and I'm all that. Honest to goodness, dude, I was there. I have the tolerance of an Irish dock worker, or I did when I was a drinker and a cigarette smoker and a cannabis smoker. I just I don't even want to talk about things that I've done in my past because I'm so grateful for them. But I just had such a high tolerance, and I just used that as like I could drink you under the table. I could pool shark you, and blah, 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 blah. So what happens, my intention is because Saturn in Pisces, there was an older transit of Saturn in Pisces where AA was built, where having community and understanding that you're not alone in this is huge, but also a lot of people that are not going to be drinking anymore won't be going into AA. They won't, it's just they're appreciating and accepting a more sober lifestyle. This could be Capricorns, Aquarius, Virgo, Sagittarius. Those signs in my all signs reading in the past few months have been coming up with certain just tendencies that they're trying to get rid of. This could also be, eating sugar and now eating coconut sugar, honey, and syrup. Or this could be, drinking coffee and now I'm drinking tea. This could be drinking and now I'm not drinking. This could be over scrolling and now I, have Duolingo. Addiction doesn't have a name, it doesn't have a face, it just changes, and it could be a positive or a negative addiction. So whatever it is that's bringing you back to neutrality, I'm really cheerleading you and supporting you. A lot of my Pisces placements have been smashing this right now. A significant amount of my subscribers that are Pisces have been doing intermittent fasting, water fasting, meditation like it's a food group. I really celebrate a lot of my Pisces because for maybe your entire life, you've been thought of to be like, you're the emotional one and you're this and you're that. And oh my goodness, you're so pie in the sky. And now you're just like, the entire awakening of the planet. Dude, I've been doing this since I came in. So I really celebrate my Pisces subscribers and my Pisces friends. It's like, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. Please help your friends. Please be there for the people in your life. And it's okay to vet. I just want to say that because it's okay to vet. Don't look at me. You can't help everybody and you don't want to. There's billions of people on the planet. Find your VIPs, your 10 out of 10s, and help those people. And that gives the rest of the people that are not your 10 out of 10s the opportunity to find their 10 out of 10 helper. Okay, we're just going to put Chiron down, 21 degrees of Aries retrograde. That's just why everything feels a little bit awkward. This is also why my Gen Xers are just going through it right now. They're having their Chiron returns. A Chiron return, we call that a midlife crisis. A Chiron return is when Chiron comes to the same point in the sky that it was when you were born. Solar return is a birthday. Mars return is a terrible twos. Chiron return is, midlife crisis. So that's why you kind of see some people that are just like in their Rocky montage, and my guides are saying something that I'm fighting with them, saying, is that not a judgment? And they're like, you just told them it's okay to vet, so it's okay. If you talk to someone right now and they're just like, yeah, everything's great. No, everything's normal. Everything's casual. That might be a red flag for you just to get out. There's not a single thing in your life that you're processing or working on. No, everything's just status quo. I don't know a single person in my life, my clients, my friends, my community, my family. People are really doing deep inner processing and inner work. And it's going to be very different for every person. Someone's, saying like, oh, I'm really nurturing and nourishing my inner child. One person, is saying, I'm not drinking anymore and I'm getting used to being social without that, handicap, without that, safety bubble. I'm getting used to who I am. Other people are going to be unpacking traumas, big T, little t traumas, sensual, sexual traumas, all these different things. And so I find as though the ability to communicate, and we'll talk about the why in a little bit, what it is that you're going through. This also could be an opportunity to recognize that that person is not one of your VIPs. It's like if I'm talking to someone and they're just an acquaintance, or they're just like randomly at the grocery store and they're just like, no, everything's fine. Then like, that's not what I'm saying. But this is a person in your life that you really care about and that you feel very safe talking to. If they're not in the thick of it and they don't share that reality with you, I just want you to look at that. And I just want you to look at like, it's kind of like that trine of like the yes friend. It's like, why? I don't want a yes friend. I want you to tell me when I have food in my teeth. I want you to tell me when I'm not showing up as the most authentic version of myself that I can be for you, for this friendship. I want us to be hopping paradigms every time I see you. For my one-on-one clients, I want you literally hopping paradigms every single time I see you. Every single time. Okay, that's my soapbox. I know I say that I don't soapbox, but I'm trying, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? All right, Jupiter's starting to slow down. We're over here at 21 degrees of Gemini. When does Jupiter go retrograde? On the 9th of October. Dude, a week from this new moon eclipse, Jupiter's going to go retrograde in Gemini. I feel like this is going to be a really wonderful, and I have 2 videos on Jupiter and Gemini. They're in the longer range transit playlist. I have a whole video on Saturn in Pisces. I have a whole video on the North Node and the South Node. 2 videos on Pluto and Aquarius. I have a video Mars in Cancer. That's not in the longer range transit playlist, but that's below. Power meets softness. I'll put that below. Because this transit casts a line well into 2025. We're going to go into Leo, then it's going to retrograde. This is going to be like understanding and harnessing Mars in Cancer could be advantageous just for your emotional maturity. Very, very exciting there. Because you're going to want to don't put it out into exercise or the bedroom where it belongs. Healthy ways. So I think that's it for everybody else. And now we're going to talk about this. So the South Node is over here at 6 degrees. So this is why. Now I have Lilith. She's at 10. Mercury, 11. The Moon, the Sun at 10. Yeah, Sun, Moon, Mercury, Lilith, and the South Node all together. I'm not writing on Substack anymore, but on my Substack, I'll leave it up. There's a whole South Node, Lilith, Venus conjunction that had happened. And it was a preview of this. I didn't even recognize, but it was a preview of this, saying that the way that we love and receive, the way that we express our wildness and our true selves, Lilith, and the way that we kind of feel cozy but isn't the healthiest for us, South Node, all came together. So maybe do a little bit of a debrief with yourself. When was that transit? It's like the first week of September. Yeah, from the last new moon, this is an eclipse, but the new moon in Virgo, from the 2nd to the 8th of September. I want you to ask yourself, like, what was coming up for you? Could have been gross, dude. Could have been gross. Could have been really gross. And it could be something that you need to process, something that was from childhood, something that I want you to recognize. What do you Sarah, you said trauma, big T, little t. What did you mean by that? That whatever happened to you in your past that crystallized you in that mental processing and personality trait. And you didn't evolve from there because you learned that it was not safe to evolve from there. Whatever happened that said, you're not worthy, you're not good enough, stay this way. Doesn't have to be small or big, but you have to stay this way. So I'm going to do a whole video on the Summit of Greatness. It might be posted by the time you see this. So if it is, please go find it. But it was my trip to LA, and I went to a very powerful leadership conference in Los Angeles run by Lewis Howes, the School of Greatness. And David Goggins spoke. Very emotional in my channeled message for the full moon eclipse in Pisces. It's time-stamped. It's at the end. I talk about this, but no, I don't talk about this exact thing, but I talk about his speech. And he did a Q&A. He did a Q&A. My guy, like, did not mince words. Did not mince words. And so this person came up and was like, you know, I've been overweight for a while, and I can't lose the weight. What would you say to me? What would you recommend I do? And he goes, say that again. I'm overweight. I'm asking you what to do about it. He goes, nope. Say it again. I can't lose the weight. And he goes, how the F am I going to help you? If you have declared to the world, this is what I'm in, I can't do it. Somebody else, like, I can't do it. I can't do it. Then that's what you've decided is the boundary of your paradigm. You have decided that. The difference. So today was day one of my new program. I have someone programming for me. I've been talking about this for a little while. I'd like go to the gym and I just get overwhelmed. There's so many things. And I just I know how to do things. It's beautiful. It's like a playground and it's amazing, but there's so many things that you could do that I'm just like an Aries baby. I'm like, I don't know. I just I get the zoomies and I try, and then I leave. And so I paid money for a program. So I am now responsible. Literally, it's on a piece of paper. I paid money for it, and now it's up to me. It's my responsibility to show up and to do those exercises, and that is the tool that I need to get from A to B, from where I am to where I want to go. I recognize that I needed that bridge to get over, and I needed a hand to hold to go over that bridge. I paid for the hands to hold, someone I respect, amazing, and now I had the best workout I've had in months today. In months. Every little cell in my body was just like, look at you doing the things you know are good for you. Look at you. And it felt incredible. There's no better feeling than leaving the gym. No better feeling than being like, I just smashed that workout. I did a beautiful job. I put in my best effort and I feel proud of myself for what I've accomplished. I feel good about that. No immediate physical changes, none whatsoever. It's going to take 6 months. Yeah, I'm 37. It's going to take months for my body to not go back, but get to what it is that I want it to feel like, to look like, and I don't care. I don't care how long it takes. The feeling that I felt is the feeling of the person that I want to feel like. That's all. I don't even remember why I was talking about that. Summit of Greatness, your paradigm, the boundaries of your communication. I forget why I was talking about that, so I apologize. I'm just going to go back to this amalgamation over here. The Lilith, the South Node, and the Venus. Oh yeah, that's what it was. It was the South Node. With the South Node involved, because that's what we're releasing, it's also past life, for lack of a better term, tendencies. It's where we feel like a cozy, wet blanket, wet, warm blanket. We were like, this is easy for me to become like this. I'm just going to move forward because I totally forget, and I apologize why I couldn't bring those things back together again. But this being conjunct the South Node, be awkward, be yourself, wear sparkles on your face, say the thing. It's like that, say the weird thing, like that type of a person. Say the woo-woo thing as well, say the spiritual thing. I think that that's, a lot of people are going through this. I'll go back to the summit. So every person that I met, I just was very much like, I'm a channeler. I work with leaders with a growth mindset. Like I had like, did not mince words. Wasn't like, oh, I kind of do like healing energy work. I didn't mock myself. I wasn't like, oh, I'm like woo woo and stuff. I just showed up, sparkles on my face, sundress on, looked great, felt great. And I just said, yeah, I'm a channel. Yeah, I channel through astrology and all these things. And I talked to a few people. If I had said that back in the 90s, been like, girl is nutta buttas. She doesn't belong here. This isn't the space for her. Absolutely cuckoo pants. Absolutely cuckoo pants. And so no matter where I am or whom I meet, I just say what I do and they're like, I know a woo-woo. I know a woo-woo. Yeah, I do. I meditate. Yeah. No, I have a friend. She pulls my cards for me. And it's a beautiful thing because the more you talk about it, the more you recognize that this is normal language. Yeah, if you talk about, oh, I'm manifesting right now, that it's being authentic in a world where everybody is now an intuitive is very difficult for a lot of people, and I grasp that. I grasp that very much so. And so I had a colleague, Pisces, Sun, S-U-N, and he had said, Sarah, like, why do you do what you do? Everyone's an intuitive now. Like, everybody is doing this. They're charging thousands of dollars for, whatever it is that they're doing. Everyone's a coach. Everyone's this. There's so much spiritual bypassing. Why do you do what you do? I'm like, because it's why I'm on the planet. And I can't not. I can't not. I can't not do this. I can't not connect with you over YouTube. I can't not. So I will wait my turn, be my most authentic self until I die. Until I die. I will die on this hill, and I'm fine with that because it's what livens me up every minute of every day, is to be able to help one person across time and space find alignment and understanding and authenticity of what's going on. I'm going to take a sip of water. Please do the same. I want you shooting for something big. I really do. I really do. This is cardinal air energy. This is, we're in God's coddly. Definitely go watch the Libra equinox video. What is it called? Lead with love, no matter. These are our relationships. I'm going to talk about the tarot. So we'll go minor first. This is the minor arcana card that represents 0 to 10 degrees or 1 to 10 degrees, 0 to 10 degrees of Libra. Protect yourself from those who are not meant for you, but don't harden your heart. I think I brought over this one as well because this is 11 degrees and because it's like 10 is on the cusp. I wanted us to look at this as well because there's a somberness to this card, but there's also a quiet acceptance. I think of acceptance like the last stage of grief when it comes to this card. It means that there is sorrow, but you're just like, yeah, that relationship's over. That person's gone from my life. I'll never see them again. That's amazing. And so this, she is a little bit of a mirror of the High Priestess. And definitely in my digital downloads, if tarot is your language, I have an entire program, Tarot Essentials, that could be for you. I have, hours of Sarah and all different resources for you. So the link for my digital products is below, my Gumroad. And so this mirrors the High Priestess, where the way she's sitting, the metal block that she's sitting on, but the depths of emotions are behind her. She's purposely put on her blindfold, and she's like really jarred, being like, oh my God, please don't hurt me, please don't hurt me. So be protective of yourself, but don't strain. Don't strain. Know and acknowledge who is not meant for you and who is meant for you. Whom? I think whom. And just accept it. And just know that the steps to take to remove them from your life will be taken. It will happen in due course, but tell yourself and the God of your understanding, they ain't meant for me. This ain't meant for me. Is relationships because it's Libra. That's why we're talking about relationships. And so these two, the Page of Swords is all air energy in my research, but, mostly Libra. Do you see how, again, he's the page, the, student of air, intellect, energy. But see how he's like looking into the clouds and not utilizing or wielding his sword appropriately? It's kind of just like, oh no, there's birds in the sky and I'm just not going to look at my life and things like that. And it's very much, we can get very, this is just coming to me now. Libra is the scales. Scales don't ever just like, and then everything's balanced, then we just vibe forever. It's a constant ebb and flow, like the tides. So a lot of the times, when, and I've been talking about my clients and the people that I work with, a lot of people have a growth mindset and they're integrating spirituality. A lot of people are also very, very spiritual and maybe have gone too far up into the clouds and need some grounding back down. I'm here to bring you into alignment, bring you back. That's what my intention is. And so she is Libra, which I love. She has cut herself free. It's from the Eight of Swords. The Eight of Swords. This could be a divorced woman. This could be a widow, widower, divorced man. Doesn't matter. It's the nurturing and nourishment of sword energy. And some people think she has a scowl on her face, but she's got butterflies on her crown. It's butterflies, right? Yeah, little butterflies on her crown. So know that if you're vibing with yourself right now, be with yourself. Be with yourself. I'm right there with you. I am absolutely right there with you. It is not the easiest thing to do when you know that you have a soul family out there that maybe you haven't met yet. You have soul kids, you have soul animals, all those different things. And you're like, I didn't think this Rocky montage was going to be so long. Like, that's okay. Feel those feelings. I'm doing the same thing, so I'm not pointing fingers at you. I am right there with you. I'm right there alongside of you. It is not always easy to be the only one at the kids' party that doesn't have kids, that doesn't have a partner, but you show up and you bring the present and you laugh and you do your best. So I see you and I honor you across time and space. Just know that what is meant for you, you can't mess up. It's not up to us. It's up to our soul right now. And what our soul said, this is the time that you have to focus on something else other than that. This is tough stuff, and I know, and I'm not pointing fingers at you, my guy. I love you. I'm right there with you. Right there with you. I'm listening to my guides. Getting to know your inner team, my self-mastery program, again, the link is below in the description. Definitely go check that out. If you're interested in a 15-minute consultation to see if that program is for you, please reach out. We can do a free 15-minute call. Or if working together is, something that you're interested in, please, we can do a free 15-minute Zoom, and we can see if I'm the right guide for you. Because trauma work takes a team. A lot of us have had things shielded from us for good reason, and we're not going to ever see those things. But the reverberation of those things, we're still acting out. It's dark, but my past life tail getting burned at the stake, that could be for you. Okay, so I had a client session recently where a very small blip of a past life came through. And this is something that a lot of people right now, the power of your word, Mercury, all pull together in this. And so a lot of you might have had experiences like this in past lives. So please comment below if this does resonate with you. So this, it was a female client, and she had had a past life as a male warrior, leader of a warrior type, like leader of, it was very much like the gladiator, the vibe, where his word meant something and was revered by all of the men that they were working with. And they just got done dirty, and was like, the Rings of Power, the last episode. I'll just say that. Rings of Power, the last episode. There's a new one that's posted today, but I'm just like, anyone who's watching the Rings of Power, I lost my marbles for the last episode. So when you do right by the duel, when you do right by your word, when your handshake means something, and in a life you've been done dirty and maybe past life stuff, being in this time and space right now where people lie as effortlessly as breathing, I want you to let that be the soundbite. I don't even know where it came from, but it's like, nope, you do not have to worry about me. You do not have to worry about me. Like, get out, or tell the God of your understanding, I don't want to be around this energy anymore. Okay, I'm seeing parables of people that work in corporate, and people, you're like, Sarah, I can't leave my job. I'm in this environment. I have, a lifestyle. I have, bills to pay. I can't leave this job. Awesome. Be grateful for the money and be excited about getting paid doing something else that livens you up and that is safer. These establishments are all going to have their day in the sun. The club lights get turned on, the intervention comes, the God of their understanding says, hey, we're going to show the world how many lies you've told so that you can be honest now. It's not about like grab your torch and pitchforks. It's like everybody gets their moment of intervention to be able to find sovereignty and the grace that they need, and everyone deserves that. Everyone deserves that, because this is the Libra card. The scales over here, the scales of justice. And so it's the sword points straight up for intellect. It's right here. The minor arcana counterpart for justice is the King of Swords. See how he points up to the right side for action. That was so serendipitous that he was right there. What sign does he represent? Hold, please. Gemini. So you don't have to play God here. You just got to acknowledge it. Say, that's not my flavor. That's not my cup of tea. I don't do that. I stay within my sovereignty. Don't let things that have happened to you in past lives affect the way that you act as a gracious being on this planet. Let your word mean something right now. Let a handshake mean something. I'm writing my blog on my website now, so the link for that is below. But the blog post that I'm going to be posting next week from the 23rd to the 29th, the only change that I'm watching is Mercury going into Libra. Whereas there's no such thing as a white lie. There's no such thing as like, oh, this is harmless. This is not going to hurt the person. Stop trying to play God. Stop it. You don't know better. All you have is your truth. All you have is your word. That's it. And speaking from I statements is so important. If you've been around here for a while, you know this language. But if you're new here, we speak from I statements. So saying, wow, this is for me. Thank you for sharing your reality. This is what resonates with me. This is what I like. And then say, thank you for sharing yours. That's not for me. Listen. Don't try to... Yeah, my subscriber friend, it's saying, asking someone, how can I best support you right now? You're telling me your story. Do you want my opinion? Do you want advice? Or do you want me just to listen? Because I can do that. I'll have an intuitive listening Zoom coming up, a monthly Zoom call coming up very, very soon. My computer is just like, I just can't do it on the computer I have right now. I'm getting a new one, so I apologize for the delay. But I'm going to be doing a monthly Zoom, intuitive listening. We're going to just be learning about how to listen, how to hold space. And there's so many people that are keen to be helpful for the people around them. We just have to take our egos out of it. And if we're listening authentically and intuitively to people, we'll be able to say, okay, how can I best support you? Do you want my advice or do you want me to just to listen? Choose your own adventure. I want your advice. What I'm hearing is, blah, 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 blah. This is the download that I got. This is the thought that popped into my head. This is what I think could be helpful for you. But if someone is just sitting there talking about their problems and they don't want to do anything about it, then leave them where they are. Leave them where they are, and that's okay. There's no judgment in that. That's where they are, and they're doing their best. What we think is their best is not their best. That's their best. Yeah, it was a long time ago that Brene Brown had said this, and it was like an old interview. I think it was with like Russell Brand. This was years ago, where she's like, yeah, what if God came down right now and said, that person in front of you that you're having trouble with, they're doing their best. He's like, no, but they could do this. They're better than that. They're this or this. And he was like, actually, they're doing the best that they can. Everyone on the planet, your parents, lifetimes ago, everybody right now. It's quantum. Everybody across all time and space. Everyone in your life that you've ever known, will ever know, is doing the best that they can. Because you're doing the best that you can. And by vibration, you surround yourself with people that are doing the best that they can. So give it your best. We don't have to have all the answers. I'd say a little bit of homework, and we do this all the time around here if you're new. What are your top 5 values, and who are the top 5 people in your life? And just kind of make sure that those people match those values. Don't have to, most of them. You know what I mean? But who are the top 5 people in your life? That show me your friends and I'll show you your future. And we are the amalgamation of the 5 closest people to us. Top 5 people in your life. And ask yourself if you want that list, if you like that list. But who are they? Go into your text messages, you know who they are, top 5. And there's been a time that Bob Proctor's been on that list for me. God has been on that list for me. Lewis Howes has been on that list for me. So if it's not a human being right now, I don't want an 8 out of 10, 7 out of 10 human being on there. I want a thought leader. I want God. I want scripture. I want leadership stuff. I want Dr. Joe Dispenza. I want Tony Robbins. I want David Goggins. I want Lewis Howes. Like all these people. I got you. If you need me, you got hours and days of Sarah to listen to. So I think that's it. That's a good hour. What questions do you have for me? How do you feel? What are your values? I'm going to do this as well. This is a lot. This is a hiccup. This is a big hiccup over here. I'm excited about that. It's going to be fun. I don't know when I'm going to post the October introductory video, because this is the 2nd, 3rd, depending on where you live on the planet, and the 1st is before that. So I don't know when. I minimum post this a week before. I don't know. You have a bunch of Sarah coming. I might do a quarterly all signs reading. I set up to do it, and I was like, no, record this one instead. So I might. It's like, yeah, my face is like this. So I'm not going to do it until it's a resounding yes. It's a quarterly, and it's still before the equinox, so I could just record it next week when I have time. We'll see what comes through. I love you so much. Call me if you need anything.